No Man's Sky Next is the name of the big update coming to the procedurally generated space exploration game from Hello Games. It's arriving on July the 24th alongside the game's release on Xbox One. No Man's Sky has of course been available on PS4 and PC for almost 2 years now. My name is Mike Williams. This is my fellow space explorer Jake Kulkowski.
Hello Mike.
How's it going, Jake?
Yeah, good man. I'm excited to talk about No Man's Sky actually,
yeah,
to be honest.
Me too. I'm looking forward to the next update. It's only a few weeks away now at the time of recording. There's not been any concrete information as such. There's a blog post from Sean Murray, and he's also done an interview with Inside Xbox, which we've covered previously on the channel, and that's basically it, apart from the ARG. Now, the ARG, if you're unfamiliar, is kind of the ongoing, I guess it's guerrilla marketing, viral marketing type stuff, but it's also just, it's a lot of fun for the community. There's like storytelling stuff in there. They figure things out and then they get released. You know, there's like videos that are released that don't make any sense, pictures that are all garbled up, but it gives, you know, and you can kind of piece together clues about what's coming up in the update and also some story.
For those that don't know what an ARG is, by the way, because I didn't until quite recently, it's just like, basically it's stuff that happens on social media and on websites. It's not an actual game.
And forums and whatever.
Exactly. It's just like, it's like a meta thing, isn't it? Like, it's been used in like Westworld, on telly, and Mr. Robot, and loads of, like, it's essentially a marketing scheme, like you say, but it doesn't happen within the game itself or whatever.
No, and it's a marketing scheme that happens to be a lot of fun for the people who really like the game, and they when they're not playing it, they can get involved in that stuff. And
like when the CD Projekt did the Cyberpunk trailer, and if you paused it at the right time, there was a hidden message.
That's right.
And it was Witcher keys.
It's that kind of idea. So No Man's Sky Next is coming around pretty soon. It's a completely free update to all existing No Man's Sky players, and it's going to be packaged in. It's going to be part of the version that comes out for Xbox One on July the 24th. We know it's bringing full-on multiplayer, something that was promised kind of by Hello Games and Sean Murray before the launch of the game, but not delivered. Currently, in the game as it stands right now, you can see other players in the form of an orb, a la Fable 2, the Guildford Orb, as we like to call it, being big fans of Peter Molyneux also. Oh yeah, and for reference for the rest of the video, if I say next, I don't mean the word next, I mean the update next. That's like a little guide for the rest of the capital NEXT, unless stated otherwise.
Which coincidentally and quite conveniently is also the next
update. Yeah, it works on many levels. So Next will allow you to explore the universe with a small group of friends. You can encounter randoms, other people playing the game as well, so it almost sounds a bit MMO-ish at that stage, and prey on others in order to survive, so it's got multiplayer combat in there. The bit that really excites me is that you can build up shelters or complex colonies as a team. You can build up a space colony with your friends.
Now
that sounds good.
Yeah, because I've been going at this not as cynically, but I've played it quite recently. Yeah, so I'm aware of stuff that people who've played it vanilla and that was it haven't. So at the moment, the existing mechanics are that you can build a base and you can use it to farm and gather and stuff like that. So thus, making that multiplayer would turn a base into a colony. It's just basically we can both put stuff into the same base in the same way that kind of Minecraft works and stuff like that. Now I've got a fantastic base in my game. Unfortunately, none of my friends play No Man's Sky anymore, and I don't have anyone to share it with. Boo-hoo. But if I had that and I had the ability to share it with people, and people could add to it, and people could store their, because I've got all the vehicles as well unlocked, including the big giant one, the Colossus or whatever. You know, if you had one of them, for example, and you stored that in my base and added stuff to it, all of a sudden we've got a little colony going on with farming for rare minerals. Our goal is being met. So that's good, isn't it?
It's pretty cool. And again, it's what the game was missing was motivation and stuff. And there's no greater motivator than multiplayer. And for me personally, co-op multiplayer, doing things for the team and agreeing like, I'll go off and do this and I'll go off and do that, breaking off and getting the materials that we need, meeting back at the ranch, literally, and then building up the ranch, the colony. You know, it's quite a cool thought.
Home on the range.
Home on the range, home on the space range. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. It's also listed as kind of this combat thing comes up quite a bit. Fight as a pirate or a wingman in epic space battles with friends and enemies. That's something that they're clearly trying to let you know that you can shoot other players. You can get dirty if you want to.
Again, could you be fighting NPC pirates, which is already in the game, alongside friends, or if you and somebody you don't know are in space together, and then an NPC squadron attack you, you two are going to have to work together. Again, that's something already in the game, and it's something that could be worded that way as well. So I'm just trying to look at everything you're saying from the complete opposite side to protect your feelings, protect my feelings and protect the listeners' feelings.
Right. It's not just to openly disagree with me for no reason.
I would never do
like
that.
It usually is.
No, I would never.
All right,
do
let's
that.
move on. You can race your exocraft across weird alien terrains. Now listen to this. You can create racetracks and trails to share online. So this is kind of like a GTA Online type thing where you can just make races for your friends, which is, again, a simple idea, very simple idea, but it makes total sense. You've got land vehicles and you've got spaceships in this game. Make races out of them. It's a simple thing. I think that is a lot of people will find fun in that.
Well,
I think
that gives away a big clue though, that, right? And I'll tell you what that is, because racetracks, yeah, great. Share online though. How? It's a giant world. If you make a racetrack and you're 20 planets away, how are you sharing that online?
So
well, hopefully there's going to be a feature to teleport there or something like that.
Some matchmaking,
some sort of exactly lobby systems. Maybe this is the thing that this has given me hope for, because the world is so vast. I just hope, like, for example, me and you might have a plan. Let's make a colony together. You start off on one side of the known galaxy, I start off on a completely different side, and we're going to spend 8 hours trying to meet up. It's like when DayZ came out and beat her, me and my mates used to jump in a match. We used to have to spend about 20 minutes looking at the maps to
just trying to find each other.
So do you think that they're going to implement stuff like that, or they confirm
possibly
that?
Well, this is the thing. You move into multiplayer, you're moving into a completely different type of game, in my opinion, and we're not going to know how exactly it's going to work until they release the patch notes, but more on that in a minute. But yeah, it is a big question mark. Like, how is this kind of stuff going to be implemented? Sean Murray in the announcement blog post said that the studio's been playtesting multiplayer for 6 months, which is a long time, and the game has evolved into a very new experience. So he's acknowledged there that it is going to be a different thing. And No Man's Sky, as it is currently, there's like 3 different types of game you can get into. When you fire it up, you can play the survival mode, the creation mode, or whatever, where you can just basically do anything you want with no limitations, and the normal mode, which is just the game as it was meant to be played. They're probably going to chuck in a 4th multiplayer, right? I think. I don't know. How's it going to work? Or is it going to integrate all 3 of them are going to be multiplayer in some way?
We can't really take what he says, what he originally said, to heart and use that as the sort of blueprint here. I remember specifically he said he wanted the multiplayer to be, well, in fact no, he said the multiplayer was like Journey or Dark Souls, where you had a feeling all the time it was a shared world. So if that's the case, maybe it'll just be like it's a world this big, maybe there won't be a single player mode, or maybe single player will be the option and normal will be multiplayer.
And again, this is something we have to get our heads around, because it is technically infinite, or not technically, but practically infinite rather. It can be a single player experience if you want it to be, because you can just be alone. You can go into a lonely corner of the galaxy, spend hundreds of hours in there and never see anyone if you want. That's how big.
In fact, that's how everyone played it.
Well, yeah, and it was unbelievable when they, With the previous updates, so with Foundation, Pathfinder, and Atlas Rises, these were each of the 3 big named kind of stages in No Man's Sky's evolution over the last 2 years. They're big updates. Each massive update in their own right had a full set of detailed patch notes with nice pictures and everything, and a video as well, in a couple of cases, showcasing what
the 10-15-minute videos, fully voiceover.
Walkthrough, and it, with wonderful 65 days of static music over it and stuff, and it's great. So I'm sure we will have a full breakdown, but not until probably the week of launch, or in the 7 days before. That's how it has been in the past. So we'll have to wait and see really what's coming in terms of concrete stuff. There are things emerging online. There is, through this ARG that we were talking about earlier, there have been a few details that have actually cropped up. And first of all, I'll go with this one, which is not the ARG. This is something separate. This is the ESRB rating for the new Xbox One version of the game. So this is just the age rating that's been given in America. And from that, there's a paragraph in that does have a couple of pretty big details, actually. So here's the rating summary from the ESRB, or at least part of it. This is a space exploration game in which players assume the role of planetary explorer on a quest to reach the center of the universe. From a first or third person perspective, players travel between systems to explore alien worlds for resources, to upgrade equipment, and to discover unique life forms. So that's the first big one, first or third person. Now, I immediately thought, can you see your own avatar in third person? Can you fly a ship in third person? But you've got a counterpoint to this?
Well, yeah, and it's that if you've been playing it after vanilla, you'll know that you can have, that you mentioned the exocraft earlier, vehicles are third person already.
Yes.
So technically that fits that bill. However, because we discussed this in the office, and then you mentioned that one of the pre-order bonuses or something like that is like an Xbox themed exosuit, and we know, because it's going to be full fat multiplayer, that they would have to have made avatars for each player, so other players can see them, and we know that they've got third person camera capabilities, because that's what happens when you go in the exocraft. So even though this could just mean exploration on foot or on exocraft, it could also mean that your first person on foot exploration could easily be switched, I'm assuming easily because they've already got it implemented, to third person, which is hopefully what the case will be. I know I'll be staying in first person really, but it's great it's something that we saw again mentioned in Cyberpunk when that was announced in first person. People were mentioning all these health difficulties and problems that they have with first person games. So that really will open it up at the very least to people that maybe get a bit nauseous playing games, especially if you're flying around and stuff.
And again, it's a very nice to have if, you know, No Man's Sky is an absolute screenshot generator, and if you like taking pictures and stuff, now you've got a little astronaut avatar that you can chuck in there in your pictures and whatnot. And
begging for photo mode, isn't it?
There you go, begging for photo mode. It's already got a great photo mode, actually. No
That's it?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
But that's a big point. The ARG has dropped loads of skins as well. Like they've been releasing like video holograms of what look like character models, and then pictures of you know, garbled up pictures of concept art for spacesuits and stuff like that. And if it's multiplayer, other players can see you. Why can't you see you as well? You know, you might as well do that. Even if it is a bit janky and first person is better, you might as well give the option.
Exactly. It's always good to have options.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a big one. First or third person. And does that mean piloting spaceships in third person as well? Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Also, here's some more from the ESRB. As players pilot spacecraft to different planets, they can engage in space combat against enemy ships and space pirates. Combat is accompanied by laser fire and large explosions. While on the planet's surface, players can use a variety of gun-like weapons and melee attacks to defeat alien creatures, human-like figures, and robots. Human-like figures.
We've seen robots before.
Alien creatures.
We've seen alien creatures before. They're like different races, the four races, right?
Yeah.
Korvax and Gek and all that lot. You can't attack them from what I
They're
played.
NPCs.
And they're NPCs. So human-like either means new races, new creatures, or PvP.
Yeah.
And either way, that's pretty interesting, pretty exciting, because we don't have any humanoid creatures. As far as I know, the procedural generation makes them, you know, a lot of them are quadrupeds and stuff like that. You don't see any people walking on, not people, but any aliens walking on two legs and that. So that is interesting, and maybe that is the PvP element that people will be wondering. This is the preying on others that Sean Murray did mention.
Yeah, the preying, and he doubled up on that because he used the phrase preying on others, if you're that kind of player, in the Inside Xbox interview, and then that's also in the blog post written down as well. So they really do mean that. They do mean preying on other players. One other little interesting nugget to come up from the ARG as well is a new kind of ship model, which a lot of people in the community think could be a new class of ship, which would be a corvette or dreadnought class. So currently there is a normal space fighter kind of ship that every player has got. The huge oil tanker battleship looking freighters, nothing in between. So they think that this new concept art could be a corvette or dreadnought type ship because it's got huge engines in the back, and it's got some turrets and stuff on the top and the bottom, and it could be like this halfway destroyer corvette kind of spaceship. Which would be interesting.
So for space battles against
space battles,
players, right? Okay.
So that could be an interesting addition. Also, there's a lot of excitement about this audio clip, which I'll put a link in the description if you want to listen to it. If you're a big No Man's Sky fan, you want to find out what it's like. Basically, just ambient sound from probably from the new build of the game that has got like creature sounds, and you can hear footsteps from multiple players. Some people are saying, so you can, they're just showing off some of the audio of the game. But the creature sounds seem to have been revamped a little bit to be a lot less annoying, is the simplest way of putting it. Like because the creature sounds are
pretty irritating.
They're pretty irritating.
Yeah, they are.
So they've seemed to have softened it up, toned it down a little bit, and it's a bit less comic. And I mean comedic, because it's like a joke almost the way they sound a little bit.
They sound like somebody doing an impression of animals.
It does, a terrible impression of animals. So there you go. That's a lot of the ARG stuff. Now the biggest one, which we should touch on before we finish. Well, this is a huge one. Well, I don't know, maybe it's not that huge, but players are expecting a wipe, a galaxy reset, a complete reset of the galaxy. And the reason for that is a couple of things. They seem to be teasing changes to terrain planets because they're adding in ringed planets. Now this this has been confirmed via the ARG as well. There was a hologram of a ringed planet, which could be just spectacular. I'm really looking forward to that. But if they do that kind of thing, they've got to reset the universe.
Yeah.
They have reset the universe in the past for past updates that did similar big changes to terrain.
They did, yeah.
And the biggest one is some members of the community, people who are involved in the ARG and stuff, had an email from the developers asking them to submit pictures and portal info of their favourite memories from the Euclid Galaxy, which is the name of the kind of current first galaxy, I guess.
Yeah. Almost as if it's an act of preservation.
Yeah, like for archives.
Yeah, okay. Because like that guy Picasso said, before creation there must be destruction.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, it's big. He was like one of them. He did
good lad, yeah, good at drawing.
The digital design and that, yeah.
There is that, so they think that there could be a wipe, a galaxy big galaxy wipe.
Shit,
and if you've
man,
built
you'll never
bases,
see my fucking base, man.
No, I'm quite sad about that. Well, I guess there's 3
we'll
weeks.
Have to make a better base.
There's 3 weeks, I guess. I could just jump in and check it out.
You never will.
I'm busy, man. I'm busy. So that's it. A big galaxy wipe, some information from the ARG, multiplayer confirmed. There's a lot to talk about, but I'm kind of bored of waiting. I really want to see what's in it.
Bored of waiting is a very kind of relaxed way of saying, like, anxiously awaiting.
I need to know.
Yeah, it's the one time I'm getting that feeling, you know, like I can't wait for it.
I'm well excited.
And it's because I kind of know what the game is already. I know what I'm quite happy with the base product, yeah. But that full multiplayer is like the one thing missing. And a lot of games these days are either proper narrative single player things, or I want to play co-op and that. But this is like an awkward in between. Now it's great and relaxing, but it would be experienced better with people, friends or foes. I can't wait for a wipe so I can name loads of planets after people I've killed and that. Like, rest in peace.
It's a great, like, starting a game is a great feeling. I love starting an RPG from scratch and stuff. It doesn't matter what kind of RPG it is. No Man's Sky is actually has got the best starting of a game I can remember. I love the idea of repairing up your ship, blasting off for the first time, even if it is like a Playmobil Kiddie's first ship type ship. I
like
still
a
love
Skylander.
It is a Skylander. I loved all that stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And if it's a reset, bring it on. To be honest, I want to see them ringed planets.
Nomads of the new galaxy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing though. It makes more sense just so people that have started the game again or just got back into it aren't going to be romped on if it is PvP by people that have got loads of resources and all these freighters and stuff. Give it a wipe, and then everyone's starting afresh. And I feel like that's definitely the way it's going to go. If not just because they need to somehow integrate Xbox One players into it. And imagine getting a game day one and then joining a planet as an Xbox One player, and there's a fucking planet called youtube.com/prettygoodgaming, or like your mum eats dicks or something, and you're just like, what is this? They need to do a reset for them lot, and I feel like that's what they deserve. It's happened before when a game's reset itself, and this is the relaunch of No Man's Sky, because it's not just an update, it's relaunching. It's launching to a different console. This could be No Man's Sky 2.0. This really could be the big moment where people will never forgive Shunmui for what he did. A lot of the people that want to still hold on to that. But, it's a time where people can start going, and it was about this point when the game started to become salvageable, in the eyes of those disbelievers, I suppose. So, yeah, that's a great place to leave it, I guess. So you're dead right. This is a relaunch, I think, and it literally is launching on a new platform again for the first time. So they've got to get it right. Sean Murray says that next is an incredibly important update, but it's also just another step, which, again, is positive news. Like, they're going to keep working on it beyond next, that's exactly what you want to hear, right? That's still not giving up on it. It's not like they said, right, we're going to do this one big one, don't ask for anything again.
Yeah, that's the blowout. We're working on a next game. They've not been, they're relying on sales purely from copies of the game still, so it's interesting. It's a very interesting approach that they're taking to it. So that's it. That's basically all we can tell you about No Man's Sky Next at this point. That's all the details we can scrape together based on what we know for sure from Hello Games and what we've seen from the ARG and from what the people at the heart of the No Man's Sky community are saying on forum threads and whatnot. Let us know what you think about all this down in the comments and what you hope to see and what you expect No Man's Sky Next will be. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. There should be another video on the screens right now if you want to watch that, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. I've been Mike Williams and this is Jake Kulkowski. Thanks for watching. See you next time.